Yeah, just asked.
Ready. Good morning. It is day 3 of our Twin Peaks trip, Saturday, February 20th. We're here at the Big Bear Alpine Zoo. The weather itself is not too bad, but the wind is definitely making it a little bit colder, so we've donned on our winter gear. Masks are required as we walk through the zoo here today, so we're going to hit the trail. A little sore from yesterday, mostly in my shoulder, but otherwise feeling pretty good and pretty lucky. So let's see what this zoo has for animals to see today. We're at the bear enclosure here. There's 3 bears, 3 black bears. The zoo is designed to be a wildlife rehabilitation center, so they do try to release as many of the animals that come here as they can. There are some times where they're not able to re-release them back out, so we did see one of the bears is missing a leg. That's most likely why he is here, because he would not be suitable to be released back out into the wild.
Oh, there's another bear.
So the section we're at has raccoons, ravens, and crows. It also says that there's a yellow-bellied marmot, but we weren't able to see him at all. So just more of the birds and the raccoons. Over my right shoulder, we have the mountain fox. He's just curled up. Looks like a little mound of snow almost, just a little white puffball. We've got a couple of coyotes here. One of them looks like your typical coyote that we'd see back at home roaming around. They're kind of scruffy, but the one that is right behind me is more of a reddish color. It almost looks like he could be an actual dog, like one you'd have for a house pet. There's 2 in this one. So this is a gray wolf, and said historically gray wolves occupied all but 14 states in the U.S., but due to hunting, they only reside in about 11 now. The last known pack in California was back in 1924 or 1928, but recently there was a small pack that was spotted that travels back in California. And a quick fun fact, we have actually petted a wolf when we were at Howler's Inn in Montana. So we've got to see these guys up close and personal and actually get to feel their fur and see how big they are when they're standing next to you. So behind me we have 2 different grizzly bears. These are right next to our wolf enclosure we were just at. They appear to be slumbering though, not very active at the moment. Behind us we do have 2 snow leopards. Get a pretty good view of them. Don't really see these guys too often. They are listed on the sheet here as vulnerable. One of the park employees was here talking about the 2 snow leopards. They are siblings, they're both girls, and they were born with a genetic defect that they're missing their right eyes. So they're not part of any breeding program to try to increase their populations, because they did determine that that is genetic, and so any offspring would continue to have that eye deficiency and would likely not then survive in the wild.
One thing to notice about the snow leopards is their huge tail that they have. It's amazing. It's one of the biggest tails I've seen on any type of a big cat before. Right next to the snow leopard is the bobcat, so we went from the large tail from the snow leopard to the no tail almost of the bobcat.
So behind us we have a red fox in a house, and then there's also a littler one. It's a little difficult to see in the log next to it. I believe this is what we saw run past us when we were in Tetons National Park. We just passed through an area that had a couple of different types of owls and also eagles. Behind me is the enclosure for the golden eagle. It said that they can spot prey up to 3 miles away, or a running rabbit up to 3 miles away, and they can reach 150 miles an hour when diving for prey. that'll wrap up our time here at the zoo. Overall, it was a very nice experience. There's a lot of animals that you get to see. I think we read there's somewhere in the 80s of different types of animals you can see. Most of them were out or visible. They may not have been active necessarily, but you could spot an animal in almost every single enclosure. And then the other nice thing was they do offer military discounts here. So you get a little bit of a discount if you're able to show your military ID. That's gonna wrap up our long weekend trip. Overall, really had a great time. It was nice just to get out and see a little bit of snow, minus the icy patch. That was probably the downside of the trip. But overall, it was nice just to get out for a little while and get into the mountains. See you on the next adventure. Bye.